I mean, a lot of these numbers are significantly off what he'd been in his career as a guy that used to play 30, 24, 30, 23 minutes per game. Now he's a 13.3 minutes per game player.
Well, he was always going to be that type of player.
13 though?
Oh, yeah.
And then
Dude, Joker plays like 30 minutes a game, brother.
But he's only played in 58 games. He had a little bit of injury stuff, but how many times has he just not played in a game? Is that only the recent 3? Or is that, it's just, I find it fascinating. You finally get your backup big that everybody was clamoring for the last 5 years. You finally get Jonas Valanciunas, and now he's being phased out completely? And you did say this. I mean, is it this small ball lineup that has led to you winning 4 of your last 5 games? Are you testing that small ball lineup so that you can be better equipped to deal with Oklahoma City when they go that route?
These last 3 games are the only coach's decision DNPs that he's had this year. He missed, was it 11 games in the middle of the season with injury?
Right.
But those weren't coach's decision. You're sitting on the bench. So it's been very recent, right? Like he's been an active participant when he's been healthy in every other game.
But every game that he's played in has still yielded by far the fewest minutes of his career.
Why does that shock you? He came to Denver He was about to leave the NBA, Mike. He was about to go play in Greece, and we're thinking when he comes to Denver to back up Nikola Jokic that he wasn't going to have a precipitous fall off in his minutes.
He played 20 minutes a game.
He was starting
for Washington last year. Sacramento, he played 17 minutes per game. He's a 13-minute a game player right now.
That's what you expected him to be. What were you expecting?
Closer to 18 minutes a game.
Then Joker's sitting way more, or you're playing them together.
Was it the thought process of Joker's been battling wrist injuries? He's always got something around his back.
I don't know what you were expecting.
Going 34, 36 minutes in a game is maybe not the best thing in especially the post-Michael Malone era where he despised the word load management.
I'm very confused as to what you were expecting from Valanciunas this year.
I thought he'd play more. I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's nuts. 13 minutes a game. The guy, I don't think it's unrealistic to think that the guy would play 16 to 20 minutes a game. I don't think that's crazy unrealistic. I thought there was a world that existed that you would at times play with 2 bigs. I don't know. I mean,
your backup center, and I know he hardly played last year. Dario Saric played 13 minutes a game. DeAndre Jordan played 12 minutes a game.
He was 50.
The previous season, when we're looking at our backup centers, DeAndre Jordan, 11.
So maybe the backup center issue wasn't really the fact that you didn't have the player. Maybe it's just that it's the way that Nikola Jokic operates, which is not a bad thing, obviously. It becomes a bad thing if he doesn't look healthy when you need him to be at his best. And that's what load management is.
The championship season, DeAndre Jordan, who was, viable. Played 15 minutes a game.
Okay.
That's kind of right around where Jonas Valanciunas is right now.
13.
DeMarcus Cousins, the year prior, 14 minutes a game. And it's not like DeMarcus Cousins was ancient then. He was 31. He wasn't ancient. He was nearing the end of his NBA career, but that's what a backup center gets you. JaVale McGee, the year prior to that, 13 and a half minutes.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like not only are his minutes less than I expected, they're actually reducing or they're non-existent. We'll see about tonight.
Tonight's a big, we said make or break year for Bo Nix, right? Going into the season in terms of money. Is tonight a make or break game for whether or not Jonas Valanciunas is a playoff performer for you? If he doesn't play tonight, when does he play?
I'd love to hear from our fine sprinters out there. 303-504-0925. Where do you stand with Jonas Valanciunas?
It's split 50-50 right now on the text line.
Okay.
Split 50-50. A lot of people are like, I expected way more in the non-Jokic minutes from Valanciunas, and other people are like, yeah, that's what you get out of backup centers, 12 to 15 minutes a game.
I expected more. I expect more both from his usage and also from his production.
We've got it.
Neither have been fantastic.
Another Nuggets ticket Tuesday. coming up tomorrow. All day long, we're going to be giving away tickets to see the Nuggets take on the Warriors. So be listening for keywords on the 20s. Again, Nugget Ticket Thursday only on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. On the other side, KJ Granderson's NFL Notes. Don't go anywhere. Every day here at 11:20 on the morning sprint, we go through the biggest stories in the National Football League with KJ's NFL Notes. It is opening day, by the way, in Major League Baseball as well. You can catch that on. I know I'm juiced up, man. Baseball guy here. Catch that on Netflix. The Giants and the Yankees tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain, and then the Rockies don't play until Friday. But to the gridiron from the Diamond, KJ.
Well, the conversation this week here at Altitude Sports Radio has been, what do the Broncos do with Marvin Mims moving forward? Now that Jalen Waddle is here, obviously we heard from Marvin Mims himself on Sunday with Vic. He's not sure what his role will be. Vic talked about on Moser, Lombardi, and Kane. He would love to see both of the guys play at the same time because it would force defenses to have to pick a guy as far as both guys being burners downfield. Yesterday, PhD got into the conversation about if a third-round pick were to come up for Marvin Mims, would you take it?
Nope.
Yeah, I got into this last night on Altitude Football.
Absolutely not.
It's ridiculous. Like, Darren, I love you.
A third rounder? You're losing value on Marvin Mims, and he's a two-time All-Pro punt returner?
Yeah, and DMac's point was that special teams and punt returns is way less impactful in NFL football than it is in college and high school. And I agree with that because the punters and the kickers are so good. And there are so few opportunities to actually change the nature of a game. But I don't care. I don't care about Marvin Mims as a punt returner, kick returner. I care about him as the guy that Davis Webb is going to lean into using as he's the best downfield threat when used for the Denver Broncos. He is. He gets behind people and he catches the ball. That's what I see.
And when he is utilized, he's good, right? Just look at what he did against Buffalo.
Just use him more.
8 targets, 8 catches, 93 yards, a touchdown against New England in a crappy game with a crappy quarterback. 4 receptions on 6 targets for 62 yards.
In that game, where a yard itself.
No doubt, a yard was worth 5.
I mean, it was hard getting the length of my Johnson in that game.
Yeah, when he's utilized, he's a really fun wide receiver to watch. A third rounder? I think that's insane, especially he's on a contract year. I expect him to have a good season, and then you're going to have a really big decision in the offseason.
So when was Patrick Bryant drafted?
2 years ago?
Third round.
Third round?
Just last year, right?
Was he a rookie last year, Pat Bryant?
Yeah, last year.
I'm thinking of Devon Vele.
Yeah. Third rounder. So you're telling me give up essentially you're going to get Patrick Bryant and give up Marvin Mims? Come on.
I want him on the team.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm saying DMac.
Could you? Okay, let's game out DMac's proposal. Second rounder?
Ooh.
Oh, you're thinking.
Ooh.
I made it tingle a little bit.
Is it an early second rounder?
Right in the middle of the round.
Is it a little closer to the front of the
No,
second round?
It's right in the middle of the round. Smack dab in the middle.
If there's if pick 48, can it be pick 48, not pick 49? Because that's a little bit closer to pick 33.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're doing it for pick 48?
I think I am. I want a tight end.
That sounded like the Altitude Loves Football guy.
I want a tight end.
Second rounder.
Coach Sanford wants a big fella.
I could be convinced on a second rounder to think about it. I could think about it on a second rounder. First, I go, yeah, see ya.
High second. Oh, now you're talking dirty. Let's do this.
I like him, though.
I do too.
And I want to see him with Davis Webb. If it's the same thing with Davis Webb, you get to look at Marvin Mims, you say, thank you for your service. We'll see you somewhere else around the NFL.
The only way, and I told DMac this last night, the only way that the franchise should take a third rounder for Marvin Mims Jr. is if there is complete agreement between Sean Payton, who I believe never truly leaned into the value of Marvin Mims Jr., the offensive player. If Davis Webb feels the same way, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts around it, for whatever reason, I don't know what it would be, but if he feels that same way, then yeah, if he's just a punt returner and just a guy that, is going to touch it 2.5 times a game offensively, then a third rounder might make sense.
Because the years of Devin Hester are gone.
Not happening.
Of a guy that you keep on the roster to break open a game, right? They're not coming back, even though the league is trying to push for more returns.
Did you see all the different rule proposals? They're trying to fix something that's just, it's not great. I'm talking about the kickoff, the dynamic kickoff.
The dynamic kickoff that has a lot of people standing still at the same time.
It's
more of a static kickoff.
I missed the actual real dynamic kickoff.
KJ, what's next?
I'll get with you when we do.
Well, we didn't get a chance to get to this yesterday, but ESPN's Phil Yates released his first and second round mock draft, and obviously the Broncos are drafting at 62 now that they've traded their first round pick to the Miami Dolphins this year. Phil Yates has the Broncos taking Josiah Trotter, linebacker out of Missouri. Obviously, he would be a depth piece with them bringing back their two starting linebackers in free agency, or retaining them, should I say. So with all of that being said, that's where Josiah is slotted to go based on Phil Yates' observations. He also, at 64th, has Notre Dame running back Jadarian Price going to the Seattle Seahawks to replace Kenneth Walker III. My question to you guys, first off, is do you guys see Jadarian slipping that far? And number two, if he is available around that time, shouldn't the Broncos also be in on Jadarian Price?
Well, can I start out by saying Josiah Trotter would be a fantastic get at pick 62.
Inside linebacker?
The former West Virginia inside linebacker transferred to Missouri. I have a bunch of analytics data on him that tells you that this guy is a extremely well-rounded defender and a sure tackler that he has top 15 percentile in all of college football change of direction, play speed, and he does have pass rush at the inside linebacker. So good player. Problem with Jadarian Price. Is there too much redundancy with that type of player in RJ Harvey, who you used your second round pick a year ago for? I feel like there might be. I mean, Jadarian Price, when you look at his measurables, 5'11", so a little bit taller than RJ Harvey, 210 pounds. He's probably a better, I hate to say this, but he's probably a better home run threat. But he does have the feeling of more of a guy that you're going to use for speed, which is what you brought in RJ Harvey for. I don't know. I don't think Jadarian's going to be available either.
I don't think he's going to drop that far. At 64, if you have the ability to take an impact start day one for you linebacker or an impact tight end like Eric Stowers, I would take him. Sorry, is it Eric Stowers?
Eli.
Eric Stowers is a baseball player, I think. I think he's a Blue Jays outfield or something like that.
Is there an Eric Towers?
I thought it was Stowers.
Okay.
I think he's a Blue Jay. I could be wrong. I got baseball in my mind. I'd like tight end or inside linebacker there. Maybe a wait to draft another running back until next year or the year after that. You have youth in that room, right? With RJ. It's not like you're getting old there. J.K. Dobbins is a big-time bet. I would like them to get another veteran running back.
Good for you, man.
What's up?
Kyle Stowers.
Kyle Stowers. Is he a Blue Jay?
He is a Toronto Blue Jay.
All right.
He's not. He is a Miami Marlin. I don't know if he ever was a Blue Jay.
He was never a Blue Jay?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Anyway.
I knew he was a baseball player. I got his last name right, which is the one thing that was given, so it's not even partial credit, right? I'm not even getting a quarter points on that one, KJ.
He was a Baltimore Oriole.
Okay, there's a bird.
There's a bird, and it was a little further north than Miami.
Quarter point? Come on, teach. Quarter point?
I'll give you half. I'll give you half a golden star.
KJ, what's next?
I'll get with you when we do.
The NFL is having their annual league meetings next week, and the playing rule proposals submitted by the NFL Competition Committee for consideration by clubs for next week look like this. And as Coach just kind of talked about, is primarily a lot of special team stuff. So number one, permit the kicking team to declare an onside kick at any time during the game. Number two, eliminate the kicking team's incentive to intentionally kick the ball out of bounds when kicking off from the 50-yard line. Number three, modify the kickoff alignment requirements for the receiving team in the setup zone. Number four, allow league personnel to consult with on-field officials when considering disqualifications for both flagrant football acts and non-football acts without being called on the field. And number 5, for 1 year only, allow the NFL officiating department to correct clear and obvious misses by on-field officials that impact the game in the event of a work stoppage involving the game officials represented by the NFL Referees Association. I want you guys to rank the rules from most likely to the least likely to get approved next week.
Most likely to be
I think
approved.
the onside kick.
I think that's getting approved, and I think it's like unanimous.
It became a problem when you're down like 3 scores in a massive game, and you're like,
it's the only chance I have.
I can't do this right now.
Yeah.
Like I have to wait.
So I think that's going to, number one is number one. Eliminating the kicking team's incentive to intentionally kick the ball out of bounds when kicking off from the 50. How many times do teams kick off from the 50?
It'd be right after a 15-yard penalty.
Does that happen all that often?
Think about a touchdown where you grab your crotch and then put your fingers in the opponent's nose. 15-yard penalty.
Dang, man.
I don't know. I mean, just
Been thinking about that for a few years, huh?
something I've done before.
Smell my finger. I guess that makes sense to me.
I don't
know about the likelihood of that, but that makes sense to me. I'm going to move that down. I'm going to say that's like 4 or 5. Modify the kickoff alignment requirements for the receiving team in the setup zone. So is that making sure that you have to overload one side or that you're not allowed to?
Yeah, I think they're going to, I don't know.
I want to see one more year of what they did last season. I want to see 2 full seasons of data.
It was at least.
I saw kickoffs.
Yeah,
I saw returns.
We saw returns.
It looked weird on television. Like, guys standing still is still very foreign to me. But there were players returning footballs, and that's kind of what they wanted to do. So I'm going to say that is, if eliminating the incentive is 5th, I will say modifying the alignment is 4th. Allowing the league's personnel to consult with on-field officials when considering DQs and flagrants.
I think this should be a 2.
I think that's 2.
Yeah, I do too. I think that one's good. Think about Christian Wilkins. I brought this up last night. The former defensive lineman for the Miami Dolphins and then for the Raiders that was like notorious for going for some stinky pinky at the bottom of a huddle or of a pile. Nobody really wants to deal with stinky pinky guy.
No.
You know what the problem was? Is that nobody saw the stinky pinky act happen during the game.
But the cameras caught it.
But the cameras caught it, and so it became a fine. I don't want stinky pinky guy on the field.
You want him off.
I want him off the field.
You want him DQ'd.
And I want 15 yards for it. If my left guard was digitally penetrated, I want 15 yards for it.
For 1 year only, allow the NFL's officiating department to correct clear and obvious misses by on-field officials that impact the game. Why just for 1 year only? Is it because of the, work stoppage
What's
year?
this? Because this might be a holdout year, a lockout year? Is that why?
Yeah, the officials union, I think their contract ends this season.
Okay.
So I understand why they're like putting this break glass in case of emergency clause is essentially what this is. Why not do that every year? Clear and obvious misses that the league sees in real time. You can't just we have automatic balls and strikes this year, which are expected to add 1 total minute to every MLB game. I can deal with that. It's supposed to be an average of like 10 seconds per helmet tap in baseball this year. If someone's eye in the sky sees a clear and obvious miss in the NFL, radio it down and fix it.
Are we getting robo-umps this year?
Yeah, ABS.
Straight up.
No, I mean there's still an umpire behind.
Oh no, I know, but it's happening.
Yeah, if you have the ability to challenge a strike or a ball as a pitcher or as a batter, you just give a little tap on the head, and This
is the first year of it being
first year in Major League Baseball.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's happening this year.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
I'm glad they didn't use it for World Baseball Classic.
KJ's
because I like my country.
NFL notes. Yeah, final pitch was a little low. KJ's NFL notes are brought to you by Mountain High Appliance, Colorado's most complete local appliance store. They've got locations in Denver, Louisville, Littleton, Colorado Springs, and Glenwood Springs. They offer every major appliance line and brand, and you can find them at mountainhighappliance.com. Yeah, like 5 things to know about that is in terms of the automatic balls and strikes, coach, they are all digitally measured. So remember the conversation we had in the Milan Olympics about the ski jumpers, where they just go into like a system and they go in basically in their skivvies and they get every millimeter of their body digitally scanned,
including their wombat.
Yeah. Major League Baseball players are doing that now. So every team and every player is loaded in every single at bat. That's how they're doing it this year.
Pretty neat.
It's pretty neat, man.
I'm just glad that I haven't been digitally measured myself.
Oh, that's NFL Notes. We'll wrap up the morning sprint on the other side. Hand things off to PhD. NCAA tournament action returns tomorrow on Altitude Sports Radio. Can catch the action starting on AM 950 with Texas and Purdue. Nuggets and Mavs back at it tonight as we wrap up the morning sprint. Well, hell's bells going on right now. Is that what's in my ears?
Yeah, because hell itself came onto the airwaves, and that's Darren McKee, because he is
It's the winged devil himself.
He's upset.
I'm here to defend myself.
Well, hold on. There's not much to defend if you're saying a third-round pick for Marvin Mims is a decent idea.
Does context matter?
What's the context?
Well, in general, does context matter?
It does. We posted a video of me talking about Bo Nix, and people took it out of context. I was like, what are you waiting for?
See, this is the debate was.
Dan Orlovsky, context does matter. Go ahead.
Sure. Listen, I've watched 6 out of the 42 games Marvin Mims has played, and I can come to some conclusions on those 6 games. The debate was because Nate Kreckman felt that even as just a kickoff punt returner, Marvin Mims was still more valuable than a third-round selection. Of course, if Marvin Mims is truly integrated into the offense, if they're going to do that, which they haven't.
Well, they did in the playoffs.
Okay. Have they integrated Marvin Mims as a regular part of the offense?
Not
in your
yet,
opinion?
no.
Okay. Do you think that will increase or decrease with the appearance of Jalen Waddle?
I expect that it will increase with the appearance of Davis Webb.
That's what I think, too.
Holy cow. All right. So you're answering my question with another answer. So you're saying it's going to increase because Davis Webb is now going to use him more.
I do.
Then fine. If that's the case, fine. But what if he was just used as much or less? And you've got to add the possibility that it might be less with Jalen Waddle.
Is it worth it to take a future third-round pick and take away a multi-all-pro returner a year in which you are Super Bowl or bust?
Let's just stick there. After Marvin Mims, who do you think is the next returner for the Broncos?
Michael Bandy.
Okay, fine. Is he a good catcher of the football?
No.
Then why is he there?
He muffed one last year, and they re-signed him.
Can we
You
have
remember that?
a
Do
good
you remember
catcher?
that?
Can we have a good catcher of the football back there with our punts, no matter what? Or do you think we're destined to have a crappy catcher of the football as a punt returner if you don't have Marvin Mims? Mims' skill set is so special that he and only he can actually catch a football.
No, you could put a wide receiver back there.
Oh, you can. Oh, that's good to know.
But he's not going to make an impact.
What's he going to average per punt return? What do you think?
Probably 0.
He's going to average 0.
Well,
so he's going to catch a ball and fall down.
If you're not a specialist, you're going to fair catch him.
Okay, so so you're winning your argument. So yes, if the Broncos find somebody who cannot return the ball at all as their punt returner, you win the argument. I'd make the argument that whoever they find back there can catch the ball and return it for at least 12 yards per carry, which would be in the lower end of punt returners.
Mims is a 15-yard per return
Right, he's
guy.
like 3 yards better than like the worst guy in the league returning punts.
Well, on average, yeah.
Yes, on average, he's about 3 yards better. Now, what happens when the kick return, the punt return is over? What happens at that point?
Hold on. 3 yards better feels minuscule.
Because it is.
20% better.
Okay, however you want to say it.
20%
It's about
better.
3 yards, Raj.
You
It's
ready?
20%.
You ready for me
better.
to really help your argument, Darren?
Just answer one last question. What happens after a punt return is concluded? What happens? What physically happens on the football
It's an offense play.
Oh, the offense comes out. How much do the Broncos have invested in their offense, Raj?
Not as much as their defense.
See, not an answer. It's like $150 million. So out trots $150 million to
Most
make
of
up,
which are in the offensive line.
Cool.
Well,
And
I'm not
that's
asking to give
cool.
Marvin Mims like a $10 million a year
Yeah,
contract.
but Nate Kreckman's argument and the argument that you
He's
guys
worth
had
$6 million a year.
is if he is just a punt returner, his value is so much that he's not worth, say, Eli Stowers.
But we know he's not just a punt returner. He's not utilized anywhere near as much as you want,
But how
or
do
you
you-
want, or I want.
So how do you know he's going to be? And this is where you win the argument. If you can guarantee me he is going to be used
I
more
can't
than
guarantee you anything.
I just don't know why
He averaged 51.5 targets per season in the last 2 years.
Is that enough?
Offensively.
You think that's
for $6 million a year to get an all-pro returner alongside
He
that?
averaged 12.5 carries in the run game the last 2 years.
So
he's
one
essentially
every other game or so?
So he's essentially getting 63 touches a year
63 touches a year.
on offense.
Okay, how many games? 17. How's our math here? We're going to do some quick math. So we're touching the ball 4 times a game.
Correct. And then special teams.
Okay, well, that's different.
Okay,
is he going to touch the ball?
We're talking about the combined.
Is
the
he going
combined nature of the player.
Is he going to touch the ball more than 4 times a game with Jalen Waddle here?
Yes.
Why?
Because Troy Franklin's inconsistent, and he had 105 targets, and he caught the ball 65 times.
Then I'm with you.
That's why. Because the data tells you that. And you know who knows that data? Davis Webb knows that data.
So if that's the case, then he's more valuable than a third-round pick. But if he's not, guys, if he stays the same or less than now that Waddle's here, a third-round pick is more valuable than that.
Unless he's a $6 million player.
I don't know what money's got to do with anything.
Well, because he's going into a contract year. You have to make the
he's
decision.
gone. He'll be gone. He's not going to be with the Broncos. He won't want to be with the Broncos. You think Marvin Mims wants to be with the Broncos right now? Was he an idiot? He's not a moron. He wants to be one of the top receivers, and he has to do the punt returning stuff fine. Which is fine. There's been other top receivers that have been punt returners. He doesn't want to be with the Denver Broncos, Raj.
I would not, if nothing changes from last year, because of the value that he brings on special teams, both on punts and kicks, in a year in which it is Super Bowl or bust.
Kicks?
Yeah.
What does he do on kickoffs?
He averages 28 yards per kickoff,
Big
which
deal.
is again nearly 20% more than league average.
Super. If you do absolutely nothing, you get like a 30-yard return.
It's okay. A third rounder
is awesome.
Marvin Mims helps you win a Super Bowl this year more than a rookie third rounder does.
I respectfully disagree.
What are you talking about?
Who's more valuable?
Pat Bryant? Is
No.
Pat Bryant more?
Forget about
that's
Matt.
a third rounder.
Forget about him. Why
am I forgetting about a third
Because we're
round
going to
draft
get
pick?
Mike Washington Jr. out of Arkansas and Eli Stowers. Stowers in the second round.
Stowers is going in the second. He might not even fall to 64.
We're going to get him in the second round. And then we're going to go get Mike Washington with that third round pick.
Oh, man, I don't know.
So what would you rather have?
I'd
Eli
rather-
Stowers and Mike Washington or Marvin Mims in his current role?
Well, what I'd tell you, DMac,
Oof.
is that all you have to look for the answer to that is what does George Payton want? And George Payton wants proven, which is why they brought back the entire roster.
Yeah, listen, they're not getting rid of Marvin Mims. They're not going to get a third-round pick for him. Getting a third-round pick for him, frankly, would be, if you were to get a third-round pick, it's such a no-brainer.
You'd
you
be
would do
losing
The Broncos would
value
get
on the
fleeced.
draft pick.
The Broncos
the
would
Broncos
get fleeced.
they probably would never get that value for Marvin Mims because he doesn't have that value.
There would be plenty of teams right now
For a third-round pick?
Absolutely.
Then we should do that deal. Because I don't
when
It
was he
doesn't help
drafted?
you win this year.
When was he drafted, Darren?
When Marvin Mims?
Yeah, what round was he drafted?
He was a second-round guy.
He was a second-round pick
Yeah.
that has been a 2-time All-Pro player and has
as
also
a punt returner.
Okay.
And
not
was
as
an
a
impact,
receiver.
And was an impact player.
He's an
in your
And by the
impact
way,
playoff
he
games this year.
he wasn't that player last year either. That was 2 years ago that he got that award. Not last year.
He was a second-team All-Pro in his second year and a first-team All-Pro in his rookie season. Didn't have it last year, but he had 2 playoff games where he was very, very good and effective this season.
Okay, but you're acting as if he's the only person in the world that can return punts.
I'm not acting as he is the only guy. What I'm saying is that his impact on the field right now is far greater than a third-round pick, and I am willing to let him walk in the offseason for nothing. Because this year for the Broncos is a make or break Super Bowl or bust season. And a third round pick out of Arkansas or Purdue or Vanderbilt.
Are we putting down Mike Washington?
Does not
Wow.
give me a greater chance to
All
win a
right.
Super Bowl this year
yeah.
than
Where's
the 8
it
catches
does.
on 8 targets for 86 yards that Marvin Mims got me against the Buffalo
Would
Bills.
you rather have Marvin Mims in the weather last year in the second half or a 6'2", 234-3 running
Wouldn't have
power
mattered because you didn't have your
Would have mattered a
quarterback.
ton. You got it. You get first downs. You don't have
Wouldn't
to worry
mattered
about
because
it.
you didn't have their
You
quarterback.
win the game if you have Mike Washington in that game last year. Because we all know J.K. Dobbins is going to be hurt anyways, Raj. And we all know R.J. Harvey has phony football
What happened to the 6 foot?
touchdown
What
stats.
happened to the 6'1", 230-pound running back that the Patriots had last year in that game? Was Ramondre Stevenson the reason why they won that football
Oh, they
game?
got-
No, it was Drake May playing against Jarrett Stidham. That's the reason why they won. It wasn't Ramondre Stevenson, 6'1", 230 pounds, and can tote the rock through snow.
What
It wasn't
advantages
that.
did you have a punt returner in the snow who couldn't see it by his own admission?
You didn't, but he made an impact in the receiving game. He had 4 catches on 6 targets.
He had 4 catches on 6 targets because Pat Bryant got hurt, who had the first 3 catches of the game.
Okay,
he
great.
wasn't going to be the target.
All right, keep you know what? Then keep around your 4.68 40-yard dash, which was exactly what I ran at my pro day. That's what Patrick Bryant ran. And get rid of your
Which is
4.
what I ran
it
in my
is.
prime.
It is.
I know
actually.
it is.
Yeah.
Guys, you know what I would actually do? Here's what I would actually do. I would keep Marvin Mims. but I would make him a bigger part of the offense.
Yes, that's all I've been saying
And
since last night.
I would take Cortland Sutton and put him in a rotation.
How's this?
Cortland Sutton would not if I'm in 12 personnel, my two receivers most of the time would be Marvin Mims and
Jalen Waddle. Because you want to blow the top off and make them see if their safeties are going to play at 8 yards.
Correct. That's
Nothing
what I would do.
changes from last year to this coming season with Mims. But he still has the same postseason production he did through 2 games. Are you still moving that player for a third round?
Yes, of course,
pick?
because I'm getting Mike Washington, a 6'2", 230-pound speed back. I win the argument.
When's he going to get his carries? Just wait till J.K. Dobbins is hurt?
Duh. The sun's going to come up. The sun's going to go down. J.K. Dobbins is getting hurt, no matter what he says. I love the presumption, too, that I can just say something and it magically happens that's different than the history. J.K. Dobbins is just saying, I won't get hurt, so he doesn't get hurt.
When did I say that? I didn't say that the entire time.
Is J.K. Dobbins going to get hurt this year?
Yes.
Okay.
I hope not.
Who's running the ball then? A couple of the other munchkins you have?
No, your second rounder.
Your assortment of guys that Raj towers over? That's who you have.
Hey.
Bidet, McLaughlin, R.J. Harvey. He's taller than all of them.
I'll leave you with that.
Okay? He's taller than all of them.
Barry Sanders was short. He was tiny.
Who you compare to Barry Sanders?
More of that, guys. Come on,
R.J. Harvey.
For Coach, for KJ, I'm Raj. PhD's next.
Let's
Holy
go.
smokes.
Did you think Booker was going to hit that shot, Dan?
I don't know.
I thought it was going in. He had a good look at it. And I'm like, oh my God, are the Nuggets really, truly going to blow an 8-point lead with 3 minutes to go? Because we're playing Hack-a-Shack against Osa Iguodaro, who does suck on the year shooting free throws. I mean, it's, he's firing away at a 46.6% clip this year, slightly below his average. But Scott, hey, Scott, my guy, Scott, there you are. What's going on, Broham? It's good to see. Why am I talking to Dan? I got Scott Hastings here. What the hell am I doing? Wait, hold on. Mister. I got my screens. I got to get. Aw, little kitty. What's that kitty's name?
Mister.
Mister.
Also
kitty.
Fatty.
Good
Mister
little kitty.
Fatty, whatever you want.
Well, Scotty, listen, man. I know you're. You got rest up. We got to do a little radio here, but you're home, which is good. Hopefully, you're comfortable. Another plane delay. Can you give us some details of what was going on?
Well, Chris and I, we do the game, and then we go into the presser when we're in there with Adelman, and then blah, 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 and then we usually hit the John, and then we can walk out, and there's 3 different buses, and the first bus usually goes, gosh, I don't know. I think last night we probably would have gone at 10:55, 11 maybe.
Uh-huh.
Because it was about 10:43. Might have even been sooner than that. Might have been 10:50. But anyway, 10:43, we get on the bus and go, we got an issue. All buses are leaving now at the same time at 11:45.
The issue is with the buses or the plane?
No, the plane. No plane.
Okay. So you just got to stand. Where are you? Are you sitting in the bus?
Yeah. So we end up just getting on the bus, and then, like I said, they're gonna say we're gonna leave. The bus will leave 11:45.
Oh my God.
And then they go before we even walked from one bus to the bus we were getting on. Before we even walked over there, they go 12 o'clock.
Unbelievable.
So now it's 12 o'clock, which is 1 o'clock Denver time. So we just sat on the bus and whatever, and I think so we're on the bus before 11. The buses end up pulling out of the arena about 12:15.
Okay.
Or so.
Okay.
I guess the something happened to the plane.
What happened to the plane, Scott?
I don't know if it wouldn't work or
What?
or
What?
It got double booked. I don't know, but they
What?
ended up having to. They had to fly another plane in.
You got to be kidding me.
No.
No dumb question. Why is this so hard with the planes?
Yeah, Darren, it's a great question, but I have no idea.
Because you guys are chartering planes. Now, you don't have just a Nuggets plane, right? There's not.
No.
It's a different plane every time you fly. So you have
There's it's an agreement they have with the NBA and Delta.
Okay.
And I believe they've customed out 11 or 12 planes or something like that, and then they boom, they do the schedule for the whole NBA.
Could you, if you wanted to, just buy your own damn plane?
Yeah, you know what? I talked to a guy one time. Well, the Pistons were the first one that started. The Pistons did that. Pistons had their plane. Then I had a guy who actually helped start. He was a guy I met out of L.A., and he had a mail-order bride from another country, but that's a whole other story. That's another story.
Dan,
Dan?
I'm not that rich.
Okay.
But anyway, so he started a company with like 3 or 4 jets. He was buying them from all over the world, refitting them, and da-da-da. So he was one of the first guys that got in with the leagues, and he had some NHL and NBA teams. Well, then the NBA kind of, I think, got together and the power of one, saying, listen, we could get bidding and do whatever, and so you get an official, sponsor, and they provide this, but I was told that the problem with individual teams is the prohibitive cost of just owning a plane when it's not being used, and maintenance and everything else, and then the insurance.
All right. You know what?
I
Fine.
guess
I'll
is
just.
astronomical.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. How much does Jamal make a year? How much does Jokic make a year? But okay, I'll just take your word for it. I guess I do kind of understand it if you're telling me there's 12 Delta planes that are used by 30 NBA teams. I mean, that's kind of what you're telling me right now.
Yeah, and there may be more than 12, but I thought it was started off with 12. Maybe it's more than that now.
Okay, well, I do kind of understand that then, because that means
Now, we have had times where planes have had issues. We couldn't get it, and they just fly in a regular Delta flight.
okay. I am just stunned how often you guys have had plane mechanical issues. I'm Katie was joking to THJ about it after the game, joking to him about it, and then it happened.
Yeah.
And listen, I get it. Like, nobody's feeling sorry for anybody. The real world is difficult out there.
Yeah.
But we do realize how ridiculous this is, right? How dumb this is.
Feel sorry for them for a little bit because we want them to keep winning to get a higher seed and win a championship. And then in July we'll make fun of them. What are you complaining about? It is what it is. It is what it is. You get to win last night. That's a good win. That's a team that's playing well. They're well coached. They're gonna be stuck in that 7th seed, so they'll have 2 chances to get into the postseason. And their options are either going to be, San Antonio or Oklahoma City. That's what the 7-8's get.
They'll be out quickly.
Now, if it were the NHL, then Phoenix would get like Houston,
right,
in the first round, and the second round you'd have Phoenix or you'd have Oklahoma City and
who knows?
and San Antonio.
Something stupid.
Yeah, you'd have San Antonio and Oklahoma City in the second round.
Yeah, they'd have to play each other in the second round, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
If somebody ought to figure, somebody who's super smart, figure out if the NBA did the NHL schedule, what the playoffs would be
what the
today.
matchups would be. That's funny.
Yeah, what the matchups would be today.
That's pretty funny. So that'd
be pretty good.
You'd have the top 3 teams in a division, and then you would have 2 wild card teams. So that would be your 8 teams.
The 7 and 8 spot is basically your 2 wild card teams.
So
Right?
the Nuggets would be a wild card team, and they'd be playing Oklahoma City like in the first round.
Probably.
Right. So it would be something like that. Still not great. All right. The Hack-a-Shack defense on also Iguodaro. Okay. What are we doing here? What are we saying about our belief in our defense for our starting 5 that we're winning by 8 with 3 minutes to go and we're hacking a shack? What are we doing here, Scott?
It's a good question. I don't know. I just thought it was a new strategy. They decided they were going to try something different. It worked for 1.5 times, and then he actually made 2 free throws, and so then you got to stop it. But I think if you could get teams to bust up their rotation, obviously he was your best big off that they were playing, and if you can get him out of the game, maybe that opens something to the lane. Maybe it limits something else somewhere else. Because that's why you used to do the Hackett thing, is you wanted teams to have to take the guy out, and then now all of a sudden is the lane open more? Is there less of a shot blocker? Is there less of a hedge guy or whatever you're going to do? So I don't know.
Well,
I don't know why teams do it. Hey, listen, I don't know why teams do it, and I don't know why grown-ass men can't shoot better free throws.
Well,
what do you do in your spare time?
I got you. I'm with you on that.
Could you out in an NBA game right now, and all you were the free throw specialist? You right now, the condition you're in right now, and the practice that you've had.
Yeah.
Could you be a 47% free throw shooter?
There's zero doubt about it. And Scott, I might have a trophy from my high school days to prove it. Just saying. Guess what I could do well in basketball?
Shoot free throws.
Right.
And spin the ball.
I could spin the ball, I could sit on a bench, and I could shoot free throws.
Yeah.
And I would hustle.
I could do 3 of those 4 things. I couldn't really spin a ball very good.
We'll get back to it. Also, the Avs won, but Bednar wasn't happy with it. This is good news for both teams. This is a good day. The weather's great. The teams did great. We have interesting guys visiting the Broncos, which is kind of cool. And yeah, we got the kind of pathetic Mavericks tonight, but not really, because you have the great equalizer of Delta Airlines on your side. So don't miss a second of Nuggets Mavs tonight. It starts at, of course, 7:30. The only good thing is this game will start at 8 o'clock because there's no other. Like, you guys didn't even start at 9 o'clock, Scott. It was 9:12. Like, let's go. Anyways, it's here on Altitude. The pregame is powered by Ramos Law, medical doctor and attorney. Visit ramoslaw.com. Away we go, PhD on 92.5. By the way, I'll be on with Drew on 9 News tomorrow morning at 7:10 a.m. if you want to watch me on TV. Hey, it's DMac for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. All right, talk about low T. And the workouts aren't the same. You're just feeling kind of drab. The love life is like, could be low T. If you go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com, take the low T quiz, just a couple questions. Takes a couple minutes, see where you are. If so, you go in for the test, the consultation, go from there. But here's what's really cool what they got going on now. They're helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1, PDA, and more. It's designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. So with the low T treatments combined with the body composition programs, most dudes get their man machine going. And they see real improvements, more energy, better focus, improved sleep, better sex drive, the whole thing. The whole kit and caboodle with the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. So call my friends today at 720-440-7900. There's 5 locations up and down I-25. There's one near you, I guarantee it. 720-440-7900, RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Last back-to-back of the season. What kind of mental toughness will you guys need to handle Dallas at home?
I think we're just going to have to do a great job. It would be great if our plane can be ready to go when we need it most, but it's always delayed or something's wrong with it. So, the league got to figure that out, especially when we're having a back-to-back and the first game is ending at the time it's ending right now. So, and then we're losing an hour. So, but hey, it's the life we chose.
That's the life we chose. Nothing like a mafia reference to throw it in there, but Scott, seriously, you got to move the foot out of your face right now in the camera. That is, I love you, and you can do whatever you want for the most part, but that is.
It's for the OnlyFans out here.
Yeah, seriously, that is something that nobody needs. Hey, the party is at Rhinehouse tomorrow night. Kreckman and Lindahl, Nate and Andy will be live starting at 3. Then Andy hangs out there because he's got nothing better to do to watch the Avs take on the Jets. Puck drop at 6 o'clock. There you go. Enter to win a Kale McCaw autograph stick and other awesome Avs prizes. So that's at Rhinehouse. What a great place that is. Starting at 3 o'clock tomorrow, right downtown there, right in Larimer Square sort of area. And we'll see you down there at Rhinehouse. So, okay. I'm getting a better idea of what this Nugget season is all about. I'm actually very encouraged by it. It got a little hairy last night. Not going to lie. Didn't love that. Didn't love not being able to step on the throat with 3 minutes to go and a nice lead. That kind of sucked. However, that being said, you kind of did it, Scott. And I know we're on the back end of a back-to-back, but if you really, truly look at the Nugget schedule the rest of the season, it ain't that bad. So I'm not going to be bothered if you lose tonight. I'll be annoyed, but I won't be bothered.
Right.
Because the rest of the schedule for the rest of the season is so damn good for the Nuggets. It's good in terms of your opponents, rest, way more time at home than you've had all year. Yep. And you are as healthy as you've been. I think it's damn clear what that rotation is going to be. We see what the small ball lineup does defensively, which has really been awesome. And you've got, Jokic and Murray, and you've got experience, and you can win in the clutch as you proved yesterday on the road. That's how I'm looking at it. So I love a win. I'm not giving excuses, and I'm not giving the game away. But I'm just not going to be that bothered if you lose tonight, as long as you can take advantage of the rest of the schedule in front of you.
Yeah. But tonight, and maybe good also that you had, you getting Peyton Watson coming back, still going to be rusty and all that kind of stuff.
And do we have a listing on Aaron Gordon yet? Is there what he's going to be doing tonight or not?
I haven't seen, but I'll listen. He's back, but just like we saw with Christian when he kind of came back, and he the first thing that came was the speed, but then the explosion. The get up to go is starting to slowly come back. It's still not where it was. I mean, the guy had a 43-inch vertical at one time. I noticed that with Aaron last night. The explosion to the rim's not quite the same yet.
All right.
Although he had that great behind-the-back dunk and all that stuff. But in traffic, he's kind of bogged down a little bit. So I think that is still coming. I'm going to be shocked if he plays.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's fine.
Honest with you.
That's fine. And tonight, as exciting as it'd be, and as much as you could, it is not a make or break game tonight. It just isn't. So perfect. By the way, did Peyton Watson go on the trip or not?
No, I did not see him.
I love that. I absolutely love it. Will David Adelman use some of the guys who didn't play as much or didn't play at all tonight?
Usually that happens. And I'll give you an example. Strother will be one of those guys that you hope to count on a little bit tonight. He came in that first half, and I thought played good. And David even mentioned in the postgame presser, but did not play in the second half.
8 minutes in the game, just 8 minutes. Yeah, he's one of the guys I'm talking about.
It was 8 straight in a second. So you want him to be hungry and say, okay, listen, we're gonna be tired. We're gonna need you.
Yes.
Now, he didn't get any sleep either, but physically he should be okay. Peyton Watson should be okay. And by the way, all it says is Gordon and Watson day to day.
Okay. Well,
But
listen.
But it doesn't say out.
The fact that they were so smart by not even taking Peyton on the trip, which I think is brilliant. You can rest Aaron Gordon. Hey, listen, we get it with Jonas Valanciunas. It's going to be break glass in case of emergency. But tonight's a good one. Zeke Naji, tonight's a good one. Jalen Pickett, tonight's a good one. And again, you cannot treat this like a Game 7. It's just not. It's just not.
No.
This is not even a playoff game. This is not. This is slightly above a preseason game tonight.
We talked about this all the way back when I played, right? And I played in the in the 80s and early 90s, so that long ago. But we were talking about then, and you always had kind of scheduled losses. That Memphis, by sticking to where you stuck, it was almost a scheduled loss, and then you throw in all the getting to bed at 6 o'clock and all that different stuff.
Sure.
This might be a scheduled loss, but here's the thing about scheduled losses. If you could steal one or two of those, Dallas was in Denver last night watching the games on TV and enjoying, Denver downtown nightlife probably.
Okay. All right.
Had a nice dinner, went over by a nice steakhouse, whatever. But if you can get a win tonight, especially now, let's be honest, we're 9 games. These are the, and again, Hubie Brown told me this my rookie year. 4 times to steal games in a season. Start the season, teams aren't ready to go. Going into break because teams are already on a break. Coming out of the break, the All-Star break, because teams stayed on the All-Star break. And going into the last part of the season. Those are the 4 times you steal games. You just mentioned the schedule. Denver's got a chance. And even though this could be deemed a quote-unquote a scheduled loss because of the travel and all the different stuff, you got to steal 1 or 2 of those. You got to find a way in 1 or 2 of those.
Right.
They find a way to win this tonight.
I'm saying those guys. You don't have to be desperate tonight. That's all I'm saying. And you got a whole team. You got to trust your team, trust the organization. Right. That's all I'm saying. And if you don't happen to win this one because you did trust your whole team, oh well, it's okay. The rest of the schedule is such. You only have one more difficult game left on the entire schedule, and that's in a little bit against the Spurs, and that's a home game. It's a Saturday afternoon game, which is in a couple of weeks. That's it, because the games at the end of the season against Oklahoma City and San Antonio to wrap up the season, those are not hard games. Those teams will not be playing hard. They will be resting. They'll be relaxing a little bit. I mean, it's not a cakewalk. It's still an NBA game, but it ain't going to be the same for those guys. It just isn't. So the last hard game that theoretically you have, in my opinion, understanding all NBA games are difficult. I get it. But the only ball buster out of them is perhaps that San Antonio game on April 4th. Other than that, Scott, Utah. I respect Golden State, but come on now. Utah again, Portland, Memphis, and then Oklahoma City and San Antonio, where those games won't mean anything to those teams. This is a great schedule the rest of the way, Scott. So trust your team. I guess that's my message.
Trust your team. Yeah.
Trust your team.
And one, I feel like you're reading that out loud for Vic. So good on you.
Well, there are panic people, and I'm sure if I look at the text line right now, I'll find a dozen texts that are like, "Oh, you're quitting, you're giving up." Blah, 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 blah. It's not like that. It's not. It's having a balanced perspective on what matters and what doesn't matter, and where you truly sit, Scott. Where do you want to end up? The best you can do is third place. You can't get to second place.
And if you look at the schedule, I kind of did math in my head and following the guys. I think you got to stay under 30 losses.
Okay.
And you're at 28 now. So
perfect.
I feel
I love it.
If you can stay under 30 losses, I think you got a shot, because I think the Lakers will lose 4 more games down the stretch.
All right. Well, that would put you. So we got 9 games left, right? We got 9 games left. We're 45-28.
If you didn't lose a game, you'd win 54 games. You'd actually have a better record than last year, wouldn't you?
Oh, you're gonna. I mean, they only had 50 wins last year. You only need 51. You need 6 more wins, one way or the other, and you have a better record, right?
They only won 50. I thought
What Dan? What'd they get last
They
year?
were 50 and 32 last year.
50 and 32.
Wow.
1,
there you
2,
go.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you go 7-2, you'll be 52 and 30. You'll have a better record than last year, and you got a good shot at being in third place, which is the highest you can go anyways. It's hard to imagine you'd be any worse than fourth place, which is where you sit right now, by the way, if you go 7-2 the rest of the way. That's great news. And I think they will do that. I think maybe they'll even be better than that. And would 9-0 be better than 7-2? Sure. But you are on the cusp. Despite your injuries, this is crazy. Despite your injuries and your travel issues, you are this damn close to having a better regular season this year than last year.
Yep.
And if Nikola Jokic has 51 assists and 9 games left, he will average a triple-double for the year, and the best he can do for the MVP is fourth place.
Yep, because you got ESPN out there again against you.
Think about that for a second. Think about how twisted that is.
Luka had a 9-game stretch where he blew up, and that's all they could talk about. He was good. He averaged 40 in those nine wins. You got Joker get a 23, 17, and 17 triple-double with a game winner, and no one talks about it.
Yeah, crazy. But whatever.
Because you know what? And it's like I said about the President's Cup, and obviously the Avalanche still have a shot at that. The year before they won the whole thing, that's all anybody talked about was winning the President's Trophy. And I'm like, that doesn't matter. That doesn't. Have you heard anybody really talk, Dan? And I'll ask you because you're in the hockey world more than probably us. Have you heard a lot of talk about the President's Trophy? There's not been a whole lot of banter, has there?
No, the only thing
what? It doesn't matter.
The only thing I've been hearing is the Avs don't want to go up against Dallas or Minnesota in round one. That's it. It's not been about the President's Trophy.
Well, I'll give you good news there. If we want to just segue a little bit to the Avalanche, despite not having their best game, according to Jared Bednar,
they still killed him.
They killed him. They exacted revenge on the Penguins, despite playing like crap, according to Bednar. They still won easily, and they benefited from goalie interference. And listen, man, I just got to keep it real and be honest. I did not think that was goalie interference. And under the banner, nobody knows what goalie interference is. Okay. But I thought our guy Wedgwood was out of the crease a little bit, and the guy wasn't trying to hit him, and he gets bumped into by an Avalanche defender, and that cost him a goal. And that was a big deal at that point of the game. But it went the Avs way. But yeah, Betsy was not happy with last night.
It's hard to not be happy when you're carving out points at this time of the year, but it was a sloppy game from our group. I think we made some nice plays to score some nice goals. I think we finished off our chances really well, which, sometimes we played good hockey games and just haven't been able to capitalize on our chances. I thought last night when we got a good chance, it was in the back of the net, but we were sloppy on the defensive side. Moving the puck out of our zone, through the neutral zone, execution just wasn't great. It didn't seem like we had a ton of energy at times in the game, and then at other times, we did some good things. So not a complete game that I think we can look at and be super proud of, but it's a very good hockey team.
Yeah, because Colton's back, Logan O'Connor's back, Lehkonen will be back shortly, Gabe's crotch is sewn up. Good. You got 12 games left. You have a 7-point lead, Scott, on Dallas right now with a game in hand. You've got a home-and-home against Winnipeg, and Winnipeg has been a house of horrors to score goals up there in Manitoba, but okay. And then you got them Saturday here at home. If you can scratch out, Scott, in my opinion, over these next 2 games, 3 out of 4 points, the regular season's done. You got it.
Right.
You're good. There's not going to be enough room. And sports, Scott, as hot as Dallas was, they've lost 3 in a row, and that's how it goes. It can go away from you quickly. The better teams over the long run prevail, and that's what the Avs are. They're a better team than Dallas, And having a home game in the second round against Dallas, because you know that's what it's going to be, is definitely an advantage from last year. So good for the Avs, Scott. That's looking really good for them right now.
Well, it could be a fun late April and May, couldn't it?
Damn right. Damn right it could be. And I think both teams – how about this for a little bit of a hot take? I think both teams will face their toughest challenges in the second round of their playoff series. So I think if the Avalanche and Nuggets can win their second round matchup, they both win titles this year.
Whoa.
How you like that one?
That's pretty deep.
How you like that one?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
How you like me now?
Yeah.
I'd like the Nuggets to finish in third, Scott. I would. We'll see what the Lakers do, right? Like, what do you think the Lakers will do in their last 8 or so games? What do you think they're going to be all about?
Well, I looked at their schedule yesterday. I thought I saw 4 losses.
Okay.
So, and that would put them at 30, but you can't.
Well, don't
can't
forget,
be tied with them at 52 and
correct,
30 because
correct.
they have the tiebreakers. So
Correct.
that's where I'm thinking if you can go, what do you got, like 8-1, then all of a sudden you'll have one more win and one less loss. But
it's tricky. They got 10 games to go, and the Nuggets are a game and a half behind them. So you got to make up some ground. So you're really 2.5 games behind them. You got to make up 2. So that means, and they do. The Lakers have a game in hand, so they get a freebie in there. We'll see how that sorts itself out. But you got to make up 2.5 games in 9 games. Tough. Challenge. You got to get some help there, right? And the Lakers are 9-1 in their last 10. That is true, too.
Yep. They won 9 in a row, and then they got beat. But look at their schedule. If you can pull their schedule.
Yeah, I got it.
I mean, they got a handful of tough games, don't they?
All right, let's go through it real quick. The Lakers got at Indiana. That's tonight, so that ain't hard. Brooklyn.
After having 2 nights off on the road.
So that's not hard. Brooklyn at home. That's not hard. Washington at home. That's not hard. Cleveland. Okay, there's 1. Oklahoma City at Oklahoma City. There's 2. Dallas. That ain't hard. Home against Oklahoma City. That's hard. Golden State, Phoenix, and Utah. They only have 3 hard games left. I mean, they may lose some of those other ones. Who knows? But they only have, on paper, they only have 3 out of 10 that are, tough.
So say they lose all 3 of those tough games, and that basically puts you where you cannot lose at all.
Right. Which is
which means you got to win these last 9 games.
Well, I don't care, though. I don't care. I don't care about being third. I'm fine being in fourth. I'm fine having home court. And you got to beat Oklahoma City at some point. So if you face Oklahoma City, listen, I'd rather face Oklahoma City, Scott, when I'm more rested than when I'm more exhausted. So, if you battled through a series with the Spurs only just to get to Oklahoma City, I'd rather do it the other way, Scott. I'd rather do it. I'd rather have more energy earlier against Oklahoma City, and I'll roll the dice against the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals. I'll roll the dice that my experience is going to be better than you young guns. I'll roll that dice. I'd rather have that.
So you want to at least stay in 4?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as we roll this out and we kind of go through the schedule and look at it's going to be hard to be in third place. And for what? Again, you know what this goes to? Who you're playing and trusting your team and not exhausting your superstars.
Right.
And I do think they did the right thing by leaving Peyton Watson at home, and I think they would do the right thing by not playing Aaron Gordon tonight. And play Zeke and Strother and Pickett, and yes, even Jonas Valanciunas is allowed to play tonight. Let's go. Let's do it. And then against the rest of the schlubs, let's bury Utah by halfway through the third period, right? And just be done with them. And you got a handful of those games too. Listen, what is encouraging, Scott, more than anything? You realize the Avs and Nuggets, everything's in their hands. They don't have to get any help, Scott. Everything's in their hands.
which is where you want to be, right, at the end of the season. And I would just say this, and you said it a while ago too, so I'll repeat it a little bit. When you count, in fact, you count, put into account, maybe we do this when the season's all over, what they went through injury-wise from starters. Now, I know a lot of teams have missed other players, but you realize Denver was playing without 3 and 4 and 5 starters, through the bulk of the season. And it probably cost you, 5 or 6 games.
Right.
To be honest with you. That you survived and put yourself in a position, at least now, you own your own destiny in your hand. And the Avs are the same way. They played brilliant basically from the start. They've suffered through some injuries too, and they survived it. They made some monster trades, and it sure looks on paper. Well, it looks like paper and on ice. Those trades have worked out pretty good, right? I mean, these new guys have come in here and have contributed, haven't they?
Can I share some good news on this spectacular day here in Denver, Colorado? The future for both these teams right now, today, is friggin' brilliant. Brilliant. It's a beautiful future. I believe in these teams. They're both healthy. The Avs are blowing out teams and playing poorly. Fantastic. The Nuggets are finally healthy, 100%, and they'll be off-minute restrictions here in a second. Not worried about that whatsoever. Be smart. Just go out and play. Be yourselves. And I think both of these teams are about to give us a thrill coming down the stretch here in this spring. Meanwhile, I've got a story about a joke that a coach makes about his wife. You want to stick around and hear that coming up next. Tell you what is going on with the Broncos in terms of top 30 visits. Jeff Legwold will join us at 1:20. That's all on the way. The NCAA tournament lives on Altitude Sports Radio. For coverage of the Sweet 16 on Thursday and Friday, don't want to know your name? Tune in on AM 950 starting with Texas and Purdue tomorrow. The NCAA tournament on Altitude Sports Radio is powered by the Reputation Law Group, specializing in divorce and DUI matters. To schedule a consultation with these attorneys, go to thereputationlawgroup.com. Cheap Trick, one of my favorite groups of all time, by the way, Scott.
I got to see them live once.
Oh, they're
Very
so good. So
you know what?
good.
You don't realize how good they are till you see them live.
I saw him live when I was in high school, and I got a pick from Rick Nielsen, who threw out like 10,000 picks, and it was like, actually, hold on. This isn't Cheap Trick, is it? Fox on the Run? No, who is this? Sweet.
Yes, Sweet.
Sweet. It sounds just like Cheap Trick, but it's Sweet. Fox on the Run. Turn it up.
But I did.
There it is. Sorry.
It's like, is this a cover?
No. I'm sorry. They do sound a lot like Cheap Trick, though. My bad. Fox on the Run by Sweets. Somewhere Mark Stout is screaming at me. Scott, I got a bunch of little stuff here with college basketball. Did you see what happened with Bill Self today?
I did not, but you're not going to surprise me.
Well, he's being shame retired. So there are a bunch of reports out there that were like, he's retiring after all these years. That was out earlier. Then he came back and said, total BS, fake news, blah, 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 blah. So here's my interpretation of that. There certainly probably have been conversations with Kansas and Self about moving on. And my guess is that somebody with Kansas wanted to get it out there that he was retiring. Like, I think they want to fire him, but how in the world, Scott, can you fire Self? And I know what's going on because this is the same thing that happened at Syracuse with Boeheim, bro. Like, they wanted to move on from him, but how do you fire a legend? And so I think he's getting shame retired, and he wasn't going for it. So I think it could be nasty for Bill Self if he doesn't want to take on the I'm going to call it a career and I'm going to retire. It could go in the other direction quickly because I don't think Kansas is very happy with how things went down.
He's been a great coach. He's actually a super guy. I've got to know him a little bit. But there have been some health concerns, health issues over the last couple of years, and I think it's pertaining to the heart.
Okay.
And I'm no doctor or anything like that, but that's kind of what I've heard.
Okay.
And so and listen, I've talked to people from Kansas who thought he would probably step down at the end of the year. He likes his team. But then I'm sure, listen, Kansas, just like North Carolina, Herbert Davis been good at North Carolina too, but winning 28 games and losing in the first or second round ain't good enough.
Not good enough.
Places like North Carolina and Kansas. Colorado, they'd build a statue for you.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. Dude, Tad keeps his job no matter what, apparently. It doesn't even matter.
I'll tell you a reason for that, too. You ain't going to find a better coach than Tad Boyle.
Okay, cool.
And especially for the price that he's at.
All right, then that's a wrap. Then we shouldn't really worry about CU basketball, which we don't, actually, so it's consistent. Other NCAA notes.
Hey, but hold on.
Yeah.
What was the team you said yesterday you heard of Michigan? What was their NIL starting five?
Their roster is a $10 million a year roster.
What do you think CU's is?
If they got $1 million into it, I'd be stunned. Yeah. Oh, hey, no, I'm with you. So when we talk about, oh my God, the NCAA tournament and dream this and upset that, it's like, okay. All right. Because you look at Michigan and like half the guys weren't even on the team last year. It's like, oh, okay, here's this dude. Well, he was at UAB and then he was at 2 community colleges and he was at, Phil's Car Wash. And now he's the best player in America. Well, he's getting $5 million. And how about that 7'3" guy? Oh, yeah, he came from somewhere else. He's getting $6 million or whatever it is. And you add it all up, and you're like, well, of course they're winning. Have you watched Michigan play basketball, by the way? They're like they're like an NBA team.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at them. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, of course they're winning, and of course they should win. But they ain't the only ones. There's a couple of other teams out there that are spending $10 million. And it's all the blue bloods, Scott. It's all the blue bloods. So, and I can't imagine Kansas isn't one of them. So losing to St. John's, which is like a bunch of scrappy guys from Jersey, like St. John's doesn't have that money. I know St. John's doesn't have that money.
No, but they got
Patino.
Whether you like him or not, they got a hell of a coach still.
They got a hell of a coach. Okay, another college coach I want to bring up is Brian Hodgins, who I know nothing about, but he's got a beautiful wife. Okay, and Jordan, and this guy is the new coach of Providence, and apparently they have press conferences in front of like 10,000 people. But he has used the same joke in 2 different press conferences announcing him as the head coach. But Scott, if you got good material, why not use it? So here is Brian Hodges, and yes, he has a smoke show for a wife, and he's using it in the following examples.
If you have any questions at all about my ability to recruit, look no further than my beautiful fiance, the best recruiting job of my life. Relationships are everything to me.
All right, so Scott, just a couple of polite chuckles there. But check out when he uses the same exact joke in front of like 1,000 people.
I want to thank my family. Steve talked about it. My better half, my beautiful spouse here, Jordan, my son Jet, who you'll hear plenty throughout this speech. If you ever want to question my recruiting abilities, just take a look at my wife, Jordan.
Dude, how funny is that? Same joke. Same joke.
Well, and here's the funny thing. It's not that he doesn't have a beautiful wife. He does. We both do, too. But, I mean, it's not that he doesn't have he's an ugly dude.
I love it, though, when the joke at one press conference falls flat, but he's like, no. This is a good one. This is a good joke. It's the audience fault.
Well,
this joke is
because
perfect.
you know why? Because you know why? One word difference.
What?
The first one was fiance. The second one was wife.
There you go.
Right. So fiance. I mean, that could be. Yeah.
There you
go. She's gonna wake up before the ring gets firmly put on there. Right. You know.
Too funny.
Hey, dude, you're awful ugly to be making fun of your wife and talking about how you're an overachiever. But then, or your fiance. But now you got a wife. Okay, she's in.
The NCAA tournament lives on Altitude Sports Radio, brought to you by the Reputation Law Group. Find them at reputationlawgroup.com. Visits. The Broncos are having a lot. We've had a little bit of a spirited debate here the past couple days. I'll give you some details that you probably don't know. Plus, Jeff Legwold joins us at 1:20 here on PhD. All right, welcome to it. Just flipping through
Song by Cream. Oh, is it? Oh, no, wait.
Okay,
This
easy.
is Metallica.
Easy. Easy.
This is Nine Inch Nails.
Easy.
You didn't even see,
Is
you
this
didn't even see
NSYNC?
my shirt.
Easy.
You didn't even see my shirt today.
Oh, what's your Oh, there you go. Head Like a Hole. And that's a song by Nine Inch Nails, not the title of your autobiography.
You know what? That actually wouldn't be a bad.
Hey, there's a cool moment of zen today. Joe Flacco's out there saying teams are stupid for not giving me a shot to start. I love that. Why is Joe Flacco so much cooler now that he's not on the Broncos anymore? I just love.
Because you know what? When he came to think about it, when he came to Denver, he left under circumstances in Baltimore he wasn't happy about. He goes to a town that basically had vilified him a year earlier in the home opener,
Mm-hmm.
and so he was just grumpy. I honestly think when he came here, because listen, he's had some unbelievable moments between that time he was here and where he stands now, and it was like we couldn't get him out of town fast enough.
Yeah, he's kind of like just a curmudgeon-y guy, but I like guys like that. You know, teams are dumb not to sign him to start.
That's in your beer circle right there, curmudgeon-y guys.
I love it, man. I mean, they're funny. They're well, they can be annoying. It can be just like, okay, all right, I got you. You're upset about everything all the time. All right, I got you.
Tyler,
everything sucks. Tyler, by the way, is on vacation this week. Tyler's on vacation. Tyler's on.
You know, I'm wondering if he
on
was
spring
in
break.
Mexico. He had his notifications on. I'm kind of hoping he did last night when I'm texting everybody
at 4:00 when he's theoretically going to bed.
Although it'd be only 3 there, I think.
All right, that's Joe Flacco. The Broncos are visiting with a bunch of dudes, and I'll roll out some of these rule changes. I want to go over them with you before we have Leggy on coming up in 15 minutes. But here are some of the guys that the Broncos are visiting, and they're all like the same sort of dude. It's all like this short in stature running back guy, the bowling balls. So Indiana running back Kalen Black has a top 30 visit. He's 5'9", 208 pounds, 1,000 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns for Indiana. Was not invited to the combine, but he's getting a visit. The Broncos
but won a national championship as their lead back.
Won a national championship, and the Broncos already had a visit with Omar Cooper, his teammate, that wide receiver who's incredibly talented, but he's kind of a shorter guy too. They have a visit with Jonah Coleman. He's out of Washington. He's another bowling ball sort of dude. He's another one of these 5'8", 220, 755 yards, 15 touchdowns, and catches the ball pretty well too. But again, Scott,
short yardage guy.
Don't we have? All right. I don't mean to be crapping on my other short people out there, but haven't we already seen that sort of dude here? Haven't we already seen that guy not really work out in terms of running backs here, Scott?
Oh, I think we've seen him work out, and I think we've seen him not work out. Who was the little water bug they had in, like, what was the guy? He set some sort of record for total yards in a season.
I don't know, but all we have is water bugs now, and a guy to be injured shortly in J.K. Dobbins.
Well, but let me ask this.
J.K. and the water bugs.
I want, you know what I want, and I always say this at this time of year, when you're recruiting a guy or scouting a guy for the draft or whatever, and you know this, Darren, there's 50 people that have scouted the guy and broke down tape and looked at the analytics and blah, 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 and each guy that could possibly fall in their realm that they might be interested in, there's binders and folders on these guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe now it's all digital, but they have their own digital binder. And they put it in front of the coach. And they say his vertical is this. He's this weight. He's a short yardage this. He can do this. He got 15 touchdowns on a second place in the Big Ten team. And the first question needs to be asked by your head coach or your general manager who's getting all the information gathered to them so that they can make a decision is, can he play? That's got to be the first question.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, this guy can play. Okay, now let's see how he can fit in our thing. And I use it just from last night. I don't want to go back to basketball, but Colin Gillespie. The first question should have been asked on your decision with Colin Gillespie trying to keep him here or not was, yeah, he's short. Yeah, he's this. Yeah, can he play? Oh, yeah. I mean,
well, they believed in Colin enough to keep him on the team when he broke his leg in summer league for a whole year. I mean, the Nuggets gave him a redshirt year. Listen, I like Colin quite a bit, so when I saw him dropping dimes like he was in the first quarter, I was like, that's awesome. Like, I thought that was cool. But
he's been a nice guy to have as your backup point guard the last 2 or 3 years, wouldn't he?
If you believe in him,
I mean, you played him.
Yeah,
if you played him.
It's like, I don't know.
So that's your whole point here. Why bring in little bowling ball, short running back dudes? Are they going to see the field?
I don't think so, because all you have is an assortment of bowling balls. Really quick, HBO, great new series. Scott, not good. Great new series, Born to Bowl. I don't want to say another word about it. It's about professional bowling, and it's freaking awesome. Tell me when you've seen a couple of episodes. Born to Bowl. All right? We're going behind the...
I'll just say this. I watched ABC as a kid growing up on Saturday morning.
Chris Schenkel.
And the professional bowling tour was on every Saturday afternoon.
Dude, we got bowlers threatening to beat up bowling ball reps, throwing F-bombs around like it's nothing, threatening to beat each other up, living on pull-out sofas. It's awesome, and it's produced by Ben Stiller, of all people. I'm just telling you, I don't want to say another word about it, but Born to Bowl. Okay.
We got to tell Adelman that.
Really? He's into bowling?
Well, no, but remember, he always loves
shows?
series. He wants to find series and good shows.
Yeah, it's 2 episodes in, and I was devastated there wasn't, like, more. I was like, I need more of Born to Bowl, But I'm not saying it's going to, I want to see Born to Bowl 3, because even the but the first series is really, really good. Like, I love F1 racing, but, the Drive to Survive or whatever, I saw the first 2 series, and I was like, okay, I mean, all right, we're in P4. We need to move up to P3, and we're at P10. Okay, I got it. I got you.
So the first year was awesome.
The first year was awesome, and Born to Bowl is on that run right now. Let me give you the rule changes that are proposed, and I'm going to tell you why. Hopefully you come to the same conclusion I do. I'm going to do the 5 of them, and we'll talk to Leggy about it here in a second. So let me just rip through the 5 of them quick, and we can sort of circle back to each one. 1, permit the kicking team to declare an onside kick at any time. 2, eliminate kicking team's incentive to intentionally kick the ball out of bounds when kicking off from the 50. I'll explain that one in detail. That one's so stupid. 3, modify kicking alignment requirements for the receiving team players in the setup zone. Nobody knows what that means. 4, allow league personnel to consult with on-field officials when considering disqualifications for flagrant football acts and non-football acts without being called on the field. That's when you give a player on another team an oil check and nobody catches it on the field. We can't be doing oil checks, Scott, on the field.
Right.
5, last one. This is an interesting one. Allow the NFL officiating department to correct clear and obvious misses made by on-field officials for 1 year only that impact the game in the event there's a work stoppage. So what they're saying is, if you screw it up because we have replacement refs, we'll get it right eventually. So even crappy refs will be okay. We're really putting the screws to NFL refs if that one passes.
That right there is a safeguard and a reminder to the officials that we will play without you.
We'll see if that passes unanimously. Boy, is that going to hurt the NFL officials in their negotiations. So let's keep our eyeballs. That's why that one exists. The consult with on-field officials with disqualification. Yeah, if you're sticking your finger where the sun don't shine on your opponent in a huddle, you shouldn't be in that game, Scott. And it's reasonable that the officials don't see it. But you get caught on camera giving an oil check to somebody on the pile? Why are you in the game? Right?
Well,
come on. How does that not pass? Now,
it probably should.
The other,
but then how big is the scope? It's got to go beyond oil checks, doesn't it?
whatever. You're giving them the business down on the pile. Like things are Listen, it's reasonable that guys are trying to get away with things that the referees just can't see because the play's over, there's a pile, there's all sorts of stuff, right? Like you can't see everything, but the eye in the sky don't lie. And if they find out something like that happened, there should be a consequence for it. I think. Or do you think guys should be able to cheap shot other guys, Scott, and get away with it?
Well.
Well, what do you think? All right, well, what do you think?
Well, no.
But maybe?
No. I mean.
No, but wasn't that a great part of sports?
You're asking me as a scorpion to ride across the river on the back of a toad, right? And I'm trying to fight against my nature. But, yeah, listen, there's certain things that shouldn't be allowed. And, yeah. Gosh, this is a hard one for me because yes, I'm not a big oil check guy. I don't believe in the oil check.
What?
I don't, I'll throw another one. Is this a disqualification? You're getting up in the pile and you put a forearm in the guy's throat
yes, of course.
As you're standing up?
Yes, that too. All that stuff. Yes, all of that stuff. There's part of you that loves it.
Now, there's a part of me that's like, well, listen, for a guy that got tackled to the floor, wedged in between some chairs in the back stand, and there's a guy was laying on top of me. He's got a forearm in my throat trying to squeeze my larynx out of my mouth. I would appreciate had they not seen that, they would have gotten kicked out. But
all right, hold on. In your playing career, was it more likely you were getting oil checked or you were the oil checker?
Oh no, I don't play the oil check.
Okay. All right, just
the only time I punched a guy in the nuts is because I thought I was about to die.
I'll tell that to Cale Makar. All right, the other three things about the kicking, let's go over that with Jeff Legwold, because, Scott, there's an easy solution to all these kicking issues. An easy solution. Get rid of the kickoff. Just get rid of it. And
or go back to the old rules, one of the two.
Sure. But when we're working this hard to jerry-rig this stupid thing that we have set up, Scott, come on, man. What are we doing? Let's talk to Jeff Legwold about that coming up next. Jeff Legwold is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW Local 68. Start with a job, end with a career. We've had a little bit of a debate on this station for the past day about the value of Marvin Mims and how he's going to be used. We'll get to that in a second, as well as visits. But, Jeff, as we bring you on, the NFL has 5 new proposals. The one about, the eye in the sky and they're trying to screw over the refs. I mean, we kind of get all that. But there's 3 of these 5 rules, Jeff, that are about kickoffs. Okay. Jeff, and I don't know if people even know this rule, but everybody says if the ball's kicked out of bounds is at the 40-yard line. The real rule is that the ball is kicked out of bounds, it's placed 25 yards from where it's kicked. That's really the rule. And that's why teams, when they get a 15-yard penalty and they get the kickoff at the 50, they're just kicking the ball out of bounds because it's just going to the 25-yard line. They've kind of figured that out. So there's a rule to correct that, and then there's the simple rule we can have an onside kick at any time. What do you think about these rule proposed changes to the kickoff? And if they're trying so hard on the kickoff, Jeff, why not just get rid of the kickoff completely?
Well, I think there's an awful lot of football people that want that play in the game in some fashion. Like they can't wrap their heads around the idea of that not existing. It'd be like a basketball game without the tip. Is the center tip really play that means a lot in the game? But I think it's a play that
it's stupid.
A lot of football people want, but they're. The issue is always going to be the toughest issue is that when they examined, all of the concussion reports, when that started to pick up steam and that they really had to look at it, they were also finding that play had an inordinate amount of injury factor to it. So that's why you keep seeing these. It's like you're walking in the dark down a hallway with your hands on the wall trying to keep your direction. They're trying to find the solution that works for both of those things. What's a potentially impactful play still in the game, but somehow meets the safety criteria that they want to have. I mean, Sean Payton jokes all the time that how much time they spend on kickoff plays.
Stupid.
In the discussion in the competition committee.
Yeah, first of all, if you kick it out of bounds, just place the ball wherever it was kicked, and you'll end that foolishness, right? You kick it off from the 50, kick it out of bounds, place it at the 50, and away we go.
It's like your kids. Everyone will find the loophole,
right?
Whenever it exists, which is why you end up every year having all these proposals because you got all these coaches sitting around in the off season looking for the loopholes, when can we use this the one time we need it,
right.
Sort of thing.
Why would, I don't know. It is a dilemma, and everybody's got some sort of wacky idea. I mean, you could go full Bob Barker on, and after a touchdown and a score, you have a big wheel that's rolled out by the cheerleaders, and the coach spins it, and you've got from the 5 to the 50 yard